Why do you think women identify with the show as strongly as they do?
I think there's quite a few reasons, but I think what it does is it sort of normalizes having a lead female.
Yeah.
It's just the default. It's I think so often the male perspective is our default perspective in television and film and in all kinds of different media. And I think what this show does is it just goes, no, this is, you know, women can be all these different things. It's played by the same actress, but we have the potential for so many things, and not defined by how we look necessarily, because it's just me. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like a sense of responsibility, sort of like carrying that with you?
I don't feel responsible. I feel proud of it. I feel like I don't feel like it has to be right or it has to be, you know, all-encompassing. I think, Jordan, you've talked about that quite a bit with Felix, too, that we don't have to represent every type of person out there, but it's just nice to have outsiders as the leads.
All the images that were fed in the media and in whatever magazines and all these things of the sort of the ideal woman or what a woman should look like or how a woman should be, and it's so pervasive. It's so, I mean, even as women who have consciousness, these images are constantly fed to us, and they're, in a way, we're you know, men as well are brainwashed into thinking that this is the kind of woman I should be attracted to. This is the kind of woman that I should have as a friend. This is the, you know.
Yeah, no, I think people can identify with, and I'm so glad that our show is so female-centric, because you so often see maybe one or two representations of what a woman can be on screen, and yet our show kind of breaks the mold for that and goes, the potential for a human being is so vast and so varied, and it's dependent on where you grew up, but it's not exclusive to that, and it's your choices, and it's your environment, and it's your biology, and all of these things, and it doesn't kind of ascribe, like, it's all biology, or it's all, you know, it's kind of wonderful in that way.
Did you, when you were a kid, could you ever, or a young woman, did you ever identify that there weren't those sorts of women on television? Did you notice a vacuum?
I know that there weren't a lot of women that I identified with on screen. I think I didn't see myself, I didn't see people like me on screen. Or just, as a kid, I wasn't any of those girls. I was so not those girls. And I identified much more with, like, Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles than I did with any human woman on screen. So that's saying something, you know, but so I'm so glad to be playing these kind of vastly different women, you know, and having empathy for each of them and allowing them each to have their own voice, and whether we can laugh at Allison and her nutty suburban life, we still understand her and we still know people like her, you know, and hopefully it just opens the door to a deeper understanding of there's so many facets.
My director once, when I was approaching him, this is the first time we worked together on the scene at all, and I was like, I had these ideas and I wanted to kind of bounce them off of him, and he went, yeah, don't think too much. She's smiling, she's sweet. And it was just, you know, you would never say that to a male actor who's been working for a long time, or even a you know, an older female actor who's been working for a long time. And it was just so condescending and just, you know, I want to have this discourse, I want to have intellectual kind of break down the scene and everything, and it just wasn't what he was going to give me. And then I've also, what was the other one that I was thinking of? Oh, just been treated by crew in a very specific way, as like a young girl on set, because I always looked like I was 12, and so there was this weird thing of being able to say things to me that were completely inappropriate. When I was in a compromised situation, I remember being, this is so awful, but being tied to a bed, and one of the crew members sitting down next to me and hitting on me while I'm laying there like this, and I'm like, you know, it's just completely inappropriate.
That's not okay.
No. Wow. And I didn't know what to do about it, you know, and I was like 18, and I don't know, you know.
This season we introduced a new clone, Tony, who's a trans guy. Yeah. And, woohoo, Tony love, yeah. And for me, that was a huge, you know, responsibility and a huge privilege to get to explore gender in that way. And our show's about identity, and so it made perfect sense for us to go in that direction.